Coming up on Citrus TV News Live at 6, it's Campus Day at Syracuse.
And which major performer is coming to SU?
And the conflict in Missouri continues.
All that and more. Citrus TV News starts right now. Welcome to Citrus TV News Live at 6. Today is Monday, October 13th. I'm Nick Cardona.
And I'm Brian Chung. Thank you for joining us. Ebola continues to spread in the United States as well as abroad. What are healthcare officials doing to stop the outbreak? That's our top story tonight.
This Sunday, a Texas health worker tested positive for Ebola after caring for Thomas Eric Duncan, the Ebola patient who died last week in Dallas, Texas. According to the Centers for Disease and Control and Prevention Director Tom Frieden, this happened due to a breach in protocol at some point.
Unfortunately, Francis Collins, the head of the National Institutes of Health, noted that if it weren't for budget cuts, researchers may have developed an Ebola vaccine in time to prevent the current outbreak.
Now, currently, more than 4,000 people have been confirmed to have died from the disease worldwide. While this is only the first death to affect a citizen of the U.S., screenings have begun at 5 U.S. airports.
And the United Kingdom is following suit, announcing today that it will be screening incoming passengers from West African countries at 2 international airports and the Eurostar railways. While the United States continues to monitor outbreaks in the country, the mayor of London said today there is no question that Ebola will reach the UK. And Campus Day is kicked off this morning at SU. The fall receptions are meant to bring in potential students and their families to tour campus. Here's a better look at the day's activities.
So for Campus Visit Days, we have today 800 students and their families coming to campus to see not only the prospective school that they're interested in, but also check out dorms. A lot of them are open campus-wide. There's also a dining hall pass that they get to use just to test out the food. I guess it's a nice little way to see if the university is a fit for them. And then next semester, there's actually accepted student days, and those are a little more in depth.
Syracuse Saturdays will begin this weekend and allow potential students to experience academic life firsthand by taking classes with faculty members. Every year, Syracuse University celebrates Remembrance Week in October to remember the 35 SU students lost in the Pan Am Flight 103 bombing over Lockerbie, Scotland in 1988. This year, Remembrance Week will take place on October 19th through October 25th. The university community will join together in events throughout the weekend around the university, including a rose-laying ceremony, a candlelight vigil, and a documentary screening.
And this weekend, an art installation made of red Solo cups was seen on the corner of Ackerman and Euclid Avenues. The red Solo cups form 2 piles, one on each side of the sidewalk. Between the 2 piles, a pathway of flattened cups was created to represent a bridge. The installation hoped to raise awareness about the party culture at Syracuse University and the fact that red Solo cups are not recyclable. To continue the movement, 3 more red Solo cup sculptures are expected to appear on campus this week. And University Union has announced that EDM group Cash will headline the second show of this year's Bandersnatch concert series on November 12th. The show will take place in the Shine Underground, and the $5 tickets go on sale today. Cash became popular in 2012 when the trio was featured on radio shows hosted by Hardwell. The group has received invites to tour with EDM artist Afrojack and Calvin Harris, and also pop artists Ariana Grande and Jennifer Lopez. The Syracuse University students are anxiously awaiting Cash's big performance.
And this Saturday was the Tri Delta Sorority's annual pancake breakfast. For $5, attendees of Delta Diner enjoyed all-you-can-eat pancakes, with the proceeds benefiting St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Event organizer Hadley Allen says Tri Delta is excited to team up for a great cause.
Tri Delta just made a new commitment to St. Jude, which is to raise $60 million in 10 years. So this is kind of our first step towards that. So we're really excited to hopefully make a lot of pancakes and raise a lot of money.
And now we have part of an exclusive interview with Chancellor Kent Syverud. He sat down with Citrus TV's Marissa Palmer to talk about how he's adjusting to life at SU.
You're the new chancellor this year. There's been a lot going on here at Syracuse. How have you felt that you've adjusted to being at Syracuse University?
Very well. It's been a good year, and I've been away from upstate for more than 3 decades, so it feels like coming home, and it's been a lot of fun. I think I have the best job.
It is. We have a lot of good orange spirit here at Syracuse.
Yes.
What's your favorite part about being a part of the Syracuse University campus?
I think it's the people. It's a very student-powered campus and university, and I've met probably 5,000 people in a year. The hardest part is remembering names, but I've met so many students and faculty and staff and alums who care about the place, and when everybody cares about the place, it's so much easier to do things.
Mm. Now, coming into your new leadership, did you come in with any plans or goals that you wanted to set forth here?
I tend to be a steward more than someone who tries to tell people what to do. So that requires you to learn the place. I mean, so my main goal was to help the place have an even better future than an amazing past and a very sprawling, wonderful present. And that pretty much required me at the beginning to really deeply understand the history of the place and what it is today. So I kind of came in mostly with that in mind.
For more of that interview, be sure to tune in every night this week at 6. And coming up next, a federal ruling for Alaska's ban on gay marriage.
And new information about the Ferguson riots.
And the Vatican may be changing some age-old ideals.
Stay tuned.
Our warm clothes are already packed away, but did we do that too soon? Temperatures reached all the way up to 72 degrees today. Find out if the nice warm weather is here to stay in the upcoming 5-day forecast. Stay tuned to CitrusTV News.
There is no credit fairy.
How else will I get a better credit score?
Look, you keep your credit card balances low and only open a new card if you really need it.
No fairy?
There's no magic to improving your credit, but there's help, and it's free. Go to creditfairy.org.
2 outs with a runner on first base. Now the big guy comes out to bat, hitting .342 with a 92 RBI.
Enfría alimentos crudos y preparados lo antes posible. Este año, 1 de 6 personas en Estados Unidos se enfermará por comer alimentos contaminados. Visita foodsafety.gov/español.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 88. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Hey, I'm Anderson Cooper. As a parent, you want to make sure that your child knows how to deal with bullying when they see it happening. And chances are they want to help, but they don't really know how. Well, teach them that the best thing to do is calmly walk away, find a teacher or other adult, and speak up. And do your part. Be that adult they can talk to and trust will listen. Join me to help stop bullying. Go to stopbullying.gov to find out more.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at what's happening outside of central New York. On Sunday, a federal judge struck down on Alaska's first-in-the-nation ban on gay marriages. This morning, the state of Alaska began accepting applications from the elated couples. For all those applying for a license, there's a 3-day waiting period between applications and marriage ceremonies. Sunday's ruling was a result of a lawsuit brought by 5 gay couples who asked the state in May to overturn a constitutional amendment that was approved in 1998. For many, this special time is comprised of drinks, celebration, and enjoying the milestone with friends and family. And in Missouri, protests in Ferguson and across St. Louis heightened this past weekend when protesters planned to stage several acts of civil disobedience at undisclosed places. On Sunday, protesters against the fatal shooting of Michael Brown, an unarmed black teen, gathered to discuss tactics and strategy. These protesters were kept secret where and when their demonstrations will take place, causing frustration among police. Late on Sunday night, about 200 protesters marched to St. Louis University in a demonstration referred to as #OccupyLA. SLU on Twitter. On Sunday evening, hundreds attended a candlelight vigil in Sayreville amid allegations of sexual assault and hazing among the Sayreville War Memorial High School football team in New Jersey. The gathering was planned in hopes to start the healing process for many. There were 4 candles lit to represent each of the reported victims on the alleged incidents. Gatherers wore ribbons of a darker blue, the symbol of the National Anti-Bullying Campaign, and walked a lap together around the lake inside of the John F. Kennedy Memorial Park nearby the high school.
Vatican may be softening its stance on gay marriage and the overall sanctity of marriage. A group of bishops came together today for a meeting calling on pastors to recognize, quote, the positive aspects of civil unions and cohabitation. This is another step Pope Francis is taking to modernize the church since he took over the position less than 2 years ago. And as of Sunday, Turkey will let U.S. and coalition forces use its bases for operations against Islamic State militants in both Syria and Iraq. The U.S. wanted access to the Turkish bases and is glad to now have it. Some believe this negotiation with Turkey may not be enough to stop the massacre of civilians in the town of Kobani, which borders Syria. After much effort by the Obama administration, U.S. officials also confirmed on that Ankara agreed to train Syrian moderate forces on Turkish soil.
U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry has promised $212 million in aid to help restore the Palestinian city of Gaza. The city received major damages this past July during a 50-day war between Israel and Hamas. During the war, parts of Gaza were turned to rubble, leaving thousands of people with no home or source of clean water. Palestinian officials estimate needing $4 billion to rebuild Gaza. And earlier today, Hong Kong police removed barricades at protest sites, causing fights to break out. Officers claim to have removed the barricades to allow foot traffic to resume in a financial district where protesters were residing. After the barriers were removed, protesters were attacked by 30 masked men with tattoos and brightly dyed hair, carrying knives and pliers. It was reported that the police did nothing to stop those attacks.
And coming up after the break, find out which movie was at the top of the box office this weekend.
And who's Esquire's sexiest person?
All that and more after the break.
Today, about 1 in 5 Americans is living with a disability. Over 50 million people, including many of our friends and neighbors, teachers and co-workers, heroes and leaders. 20 years ago, the Americans with Disabilities Act guaranteed every person the right to live, work, and participate fully in the American experience. We've come a long way since then, and we are committed to making even more progress in the years ahead. Visit disability.gov to see how you can help.
You realize that 49 million Americans struggle with hunger? That's 1 out of every 6 Americans. These people are around us every day. They're our friends, they're our co-workers, their kids go to school with our kids. Sometimes we're not even aware that they're struggling. This problem is closer than you think. But so is the solution.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Know what?
What?
Since I got adopted, I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these two. It's Flirt City over here.
Yeah, I noticed that. It looks like my human is definitely into your human.
Oh, look! I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog. Oh, look, they're doing that thing where they put their arms around each other.
She kicked up a leg. It's like in the movies.
That's awesome. Looks like we're going to be hanging out a little bit more.
And it was warm today, almost deceivingly warm today. Let's take a look for our weather forecast from CitrusTV's own Chief Meteorologist Brooke Glatz.
Thanks, Brian. Today we had a high of 72 degrees and a low of 57, but it feels like 68 today with the breeze. Partly cloudy, winds coming from the south-southeast at 9 miles per hour. Humidity was on the higher side at 69%, but low precipitation. Moving into tonight, we can see, again, partly cloudy skies, a low of 58, so a little chilly, but not as cold as what we were seeing last week. Winds again from the south-southeast at about 7 miles per hour. Humidity will be on the higher side, about 88%, which is much higher, but again, low precipitation. Moving into tomorrow, though, I'm a very happy camper. It'll be 80 degrees as a high, low of 63. Again, partly cloudy, so it won't be too hot. Winds about 17 miles per hour, so we will have a nice breeze. It's going to be a beautiful day. High humidity, though, but again, no precipitation. Moving on, we can see the current temps. In Syracuse, it's about 70 degrees, but if we move farther down south to Philadelphia and Baltimore, it's down at 63, which is cooler than what we're at. But if you go out west towards Columbus and Cincinnati, it's up in the upper 70s, so moving in towards that heat wave that we're going to see tomorrow. Looking at the current dew points, we can see that it's nice and comfortable over near Syracuse, but if you move out west, it is much more humid than we are seeing out on the East Coast. Moving on to the precipitation forecast, we can see nothing in the Syracuse area, but if you go out even west of Chicago, we're seeing a lot of rain, so they will get a dumping on, but again, nothing for us. Looking at our 5-day forecast, we can see for the next couple days it will be partly cloudy skies in the 70s and then up into the low 80s, which is very exciting. But moving in towards the weekend, we will see that it is we're going to have a couple showers and it will get a little rainier. And the temperatures are going to dip back down again to 70s and into the 60s.
Thank you so much, Brooke. Now, I know that towards Thursday and Friday there might be some rain. I was planning on going apple picking to kind of celebrate fall being around, but is it going to be rainy on Saturday and Sunday for the weekend, or?
You know, I think it's just going to be morning showers, so if you go later in the day, you might be okay.
So something more of a drizzle, or kind of more of a?
More of a drizzle. Again, mostly AM showers. PM, you'll be better, so if you have evening plans or if you were planning on going apple picking later in the day, you will be in the clear.
Okay, thank you so much, Brooke. And now let's send it over to Nick for our ICYMI segment to fill you in on all the tech news, entertainment buzz, and important cultural stories that you may have missed this week. Nick, what's going on?
Thank you, Brian. Perhaps the biggest story coming out this weekend is Malala Yousafzai's Nobel Peace Prize win. At only 17 years old, Malala is perhaps the debate back home in Pakistan. Malala is still unable to return back home after being nearly fatally shot by the Taliban in 2012. And now switching gears a little bit, Apple may be releasing a string of new products this week. Just short of a month ago, Apple released the new iPhone 6 and 6 Plus, but as usual, it does not stop there for the tech giant. It is rumored that Apple will be releasing a new iPad mini, an iPad Air, and a Mac with an upgraded software system Thursday. Seems like I should just pre-order the iPhone 7 already to stay ahead of the curve. And Apple may still be leading the tech pack, but it looks like they could be getting some new neighbors in Silicon Valley. After years of shying away from science and engineering, investors are beginning to take interest in technology again. According to the National Venture Capital Association, investments in technology nearly doubled last period than the year earlier. Look out, social media giants, you may be tweeting about the rise of 3D printers soon. And Gone Girl does it again. The marital thriller remains the #1 movie at the box office for a second week in a row. The movie, based off of the book by Gillian Flynn, has grossed more than $78 million already. Dracula Untold was second at the box office, surpassing all expectations this weekend by $5 million. Gone Girl doesn't look like it's going anywhere too soon. And Lena Dunham is making headlines again. The creator of HBO's hit show Girls announced that she will be adapting Karen Cushman's award-winning young adult novel Catherine, called Birdie, into a film. This is coming only a few weeks after she released her debut essay collection, Not That Kind of Girl. I don't know what kind of type of girl Dunham is, but definitely seems like she's a busy one. And actor Jim Carrey will host SNL on October 25th. The comedian will host the show for the first time in 3 years and his third time overall. He will host the show just in time to promote his new movie Dumb and Dumber 2, which comes out into theaters on November 14th. Singer Iggy Azalea will be the musical guest for the same show and will be performing her new single for the first time. And Esquire magazine has named the sexiest woman alive. Penelope Cruz has been named the magazine's 2014 Sexiest Woman Alive. She is the magazine's 11th honoree. Past honorees have included Angelina Jolie, Halle Berry, and Rihanna. Despite the public attention, the Spanish actress is keeping her family life private. And actress Misty Upham has been missing for the past week. The actress, best known for her role in Django Unchained, went missing from the Native American reservation where she was visiting family. Auburn Police Department in Washington say Upham is not considered endangered. However, they and her family are concerned as she suffers from a medical condition. Her disappearance is not being ruled suspicious. And New York Giants wide receiver Victor Cruz could be gone for the rest of the season. While attempting to catch the ball in the end zone against the Philadelphia Eagles, Cruz suffered a torn patellar tendon in his right leg. He was carted off the field and taken to a Philadelphia area hospital. Dallas Cowboys' Norris Claiborne suffered the same injury earlier in the season and is now out for the rest of the year. We'll find out how...
And coming up in sports, we'll find out how Cruz's Giants did. And SU took on the defending champs and #1 Florida State in the Dome. It was a lot closer than expected. Also, the soccer squad looked to win its 7th in a row. Next in sports.
I think someone at my friend's school has this thing called autism. My friend's brother's son has autism. My neighbor's son has autism. My son has autism.
Autism is getting closer to home. Today, 1 in 88 children is diagnosed with autism. That's a 1,000% increase in the last 40 years. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Now it's time for This Week in Bad Stats.
Bad stats?
Horrible stats. Here goes. 132.
That's how many batters struck out 4 times in one game last season.
Wow, very good. Here's a tough one, though. 3 and 4.
No idea.
That's how many kids witness bullying. 3 out of 4.
That's not a good stat.
No, it's not, but it can change. Kids want to help, but they don't know how. Visit stopbullying.gov and give them the tools they need to help prevent bullying.
There are plenty of safe ways kids can help at stopbullying.gov.
We are different. Society should aspire to be more like us.
Be part of the first class. Get energized. Get outside.
Hold on, guys. It's gonna get bumpy.
And get moving. Experience the power of physical activity. Join the movement at ActionHeroAlliance.com.
The Orange came into Saturday coming off 3 straight losses. And with the #1 Seminoles coming into town and starting quarterback Terrell Hunt, well, not many were picking SU. But Syracuse showed up to play, and one man came off the bench and stole the show. Syracuse, Florida State, the Orange trying to get back to 500, and reigning Heisman Trophy winner Jameis Winston was in town. And here, fast forward to the second half, found Jesus Wilson from 7 yards out. Florida State goes up 31-6, but freshman quarterback A.J. Long comes in after Austin Wilson struggled. Here he finds Steve Ishmael, the freshman-to-freshman connection. That was the good A.J. Long, but here's the bad. He scrambles out to his left and finds Nate Robertson. He plays on the other team. That's not good. But anyway, Florida State takes it 38-20. Cuse is now 2-4. Scott Schaefer, after the game, talked about the freshman quarterback.
So I was really encouraged by the way he played. Did he make mistakes? Yes. But all in all, opportunity to be baptized by fire against #1 in the country. I thought the kid did a pretty damn good job.
It's that Syracuse football, we're back and we're going to an ACC championship in the next 4 years. I mean, our team is going to be very good.
Another team on the Hill is arguably the best one right now. The men's soccer squad came into the weekend at 10-1 and ranked #4 in the coaches poll. Tack that onto a goalie in Alex Bono, who's only allowed 2 goals all year, and the Orange was on a roll going into Friday. Syracuse looking to come out with a different outcome than last year when Wake won 3-1. Here, first half, Jordan Morrell to Tyler Hillard, who heads it in from the free kick. Orange up 1-0. Fast forward to the second half. Again, it's Jordan Morrell with the free kick, and again, he finds Hillard, who heads it in. Syracuse goes up 2-0, and then later on, Emil Ekblom gets it off the pass and crosses it in, and Chris Nako somehow gets it and finds it back of the net. Syracuse takes it 3-1, and the Orange are now in sole possession of first place in the ACC. On to the NFL, where the Pats and Bills hooked up, and the Bills are staying in Buffalo. It's good news. There's new Bills owners, Terry and Kim Pegula. In the fourth quarter, Kyle Horton finds Chris Hogan for the 8-yard touchdown. They go for 2, of course. You're down 10, you got to. He finds Robert Woods, who somehow, the ref says right there with his hands in the air, he was in. But you knew that the Pats were going to come back, and good old Tom Brady leads New England down the field, up 8. You don't need a touchdown, but Brady's like, I'll get it. LaFell says, get off me. 56 yards to the house. Pats take it 37-22, and the Pats are now in sole possession of first place in the AFC East. The Bills are now 3-3. And now the Giants were in prime time in the city of brotherly love, but there wasn't much love going on for the red and blue. Here first quarter, Nick Foles finds Zach Ertz, who lays out, and they review it. They said his knee got in. That is a touchdown. Eagles go up 10-0, and here Nick Foles rolling out finds a wide open James Casey. Philadelphia goes up 17-0, and the Giants weren't playing much defense. And here, more bad news for the Giants as Eli finds Victor Cruz, and he falls awkwardly, goes out with a torn patellar tendon, as Nick told us earlier. Eagles take it 27-0. Good news, though, former SU star Ryan Nassib got his first play in action in 2014, going 4 for 5 for 60 yards. New York is now 3-3. And on to the other team in the Big Apple, the Jets, came in this Sunday without a win since week 1. And there, Geno Smith finds Jace Amaro. The Jets actually go up 7-3, but you knew Peyton Manning and the Broncos would come back. And Peyton finds a wide open Julius Thomas. Too easy. He even screamed after the play, "It's so easy," into the mic. And here the Jets came back down 7 with less than 30 seconds to go, but he finds Aqib Talib, who takes it all the way to the house, does the Deion Sanders dance. And New York's now 1-5 and has a short week going into New England on Thursday.
Jim, thank you so much. Now, what can you tell us about the Orange going on to their next football game against Wake Forest, coming off of this loss to the #1 team in the country?
Guys, the good news is that Wake is actually worse than SU. And so I believe that with A.J. Long, I don't know, SU just seemed to have a little bit of a spark in them, and they kind of need that. So I believe that SU does have a chance to knock off Wake and to finally get a win for the first time in it seems like a year.
Maybe that freshman pair of Long and Ishmael is the key.
I think so. Look for it out in the future.
Thank you so much, Jim.
All right, and after the break, who is terrorizing California town?
Stay tuned.
Turning a 20-foot wall into a canvas takes vision. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
Now, Brooke, tomorrow morning, what should I wear when I head to class?
Tomorrow morning, it will be a little on the chilly side when you're first getting up, but the temperatures will get all the way up to 80, so you can break out those t-shirts and jeans again. It'll be nice and warm for you.
I'm excited. Thank you so much, Brooke.
No problem.
All right, well, Halloween is just around the corner. However, for one California town, they're already having a fear of clowns.
That's right. In Bakersfield, California, residents are on edge after reports of clowns taking over the streets at night.
At least one suspect has been arrested after reports state the clowns carrying guns and machetes and going around scaring children and adults. That's a little bit scary.
Horrifying.
Don't like that at all.
That's horrifying.
Well, that will do it for us tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in to Citrus TV News Live at 6. Make sure you check us out on Facebook and Twitter and follow us on Instagram. I'm Nick Cardona.
And I'm Brian Chung. Have a great night, Syracuse.